good evening for experts from Ati Polytechnic Padang, the Ministry of Industry of the Republic of Indonesia, for the participants from the Caribbean region. Welcome back to the second day of our online training on coconut development for Caribbean region. So today will be the last day of our training session. So hopefully you will enjoy this training and spend the time with us for the next 1 hour and 30 minutes. So I will hand it over to the experts from Polytechnic Ati Padang. So maybe Madam Rosalina who will lead the session.
I'll lead now, Mrs. Niken.
Okay, sure. Over you, Madam Rosa.
Thank you, Mrs. Niken, for the opportunity. Good evening from Indonesia and good morning for our college in Caribbean countries. Welcome back to the Coconut Training Program for the Caribbean, day number 2. We are excited to have you join us online. So here, you are in the last day of the training sessions, concurrent sessions scheduled for 90 minutes. My name is Nadia. So today I will lead you for the training session. One of your trainers here. Ladies and gentlemen, this executive training is held in collaboration with Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Ministry of Industry of the Republic of Indonesia, and Non-Alliance Movement Center for Social Technical Cooperation. Just a few suggestions and tips before I introduce the session presenter. So today's training will be divided into 4 sessions. The first is the presentations about VCO or virgin coconut oil. The second is the presentations about VCO, coconut oil. The third is questions and answer. And the last will be post-test and assignment. So I will also be monitoring the chat room, which can be found on your own screen. If you have a question for the presenter during the presentations, please type it in the chat room. I will help you to convey the questions to the presenter. General comments and reflections on the presentations can be typed in the chat. So ladies and gentlemen, before we go to today's sessions, we will try to answer the rest of the questions from yesterday's training session. Let me share the screen to you. So yesterday training, we have at least 3 questions that we need to answer. The first question is, what is the main variety of coconuts planted in Indonesia? One of you asked the question, this question, and this is the answer. So in Indonesia, we have 3 different types of coconut. Dalam coconut, genjah coconut, and hybrid coconut. As you can see, the dalam coconut has really tall trunk, while others shorter than the dalam coconut. You can see here. And the hybrid coconut itself is the result of a cross between dalam coconut and genjah coconut. It's carried out to obtain the superior varieties. As you can see here, the fruit of the hybrid coconut is the biggest one, right? If we can compare it with dalam coconut and genjah coconut. This is the elaboration. So for dalam coconuts, it can produce about 90 coconuts per tree per year, while genjah coconut, it can produce about 80 until 150 coconuts per tree per year. And hybrid coconut, it can produce about 140 coconuts per tree per year. Dalam coconuts, it can start to bear fruit when it is reached 6 until 8 years. While ganja coconut, it can starting to bear fruit in 3 until 5 years. And hybrid coconut, it can start to bear fruit in 3 until 4 years of their life. For the potential oil content in dalam coconut, it has 63 until 69%, while ganja coconut 61 until 66%. And for the hybrid itself, it's high. It's high. We try to get the data, but it just said high itself. But we assume that it will be higher than dalam coconut. For the fruit size, in dalam coconut, as we can see before, the fruit is medium size, 1.5 until 2.5 kilogram. When ganja coconut, it's slightly small, it's about 1.5 kilogram, and the hybrid itself is big. We can see again, this is hybrid, it's bigger, right? And then for the tree height, dalam coconut, it is the tallest one, 30 meter, and ganja 12 meter, and hybrid coconut is below 30 meter. And for the advantage, dalam coconuts have thick flesh. Ganja coconut, it has a lot of coconut water. And for the hybrid coconut, it has thick flesh about 1.5 centimeter and firm. And then we also had the questions from you, how is the coconut powder made? So this is the answer. We assume that there are two types of coconut powder. So the first is desiccated coconut powder. Yeah, this is the production process. First, we have to do the dehusking, and then we do the deshelling, and then we do the paring to get the coconut white meat, and then we do the slicing. So after that, we do the blanching, and then we do the draining, and then the disintegration, and for the last, we dry the coconut itself. And for the output, we will get the high-fat desiccated coconut powder. For your information, as we have presented before, desiccated coconut, it is what is known as dry grated coconut, is the result of processing old coconut meat, which is ground by coping or grading without adding other ingredients, and then dried hygienically. And then the second itself is coconut milk powder. This is the production process. We get the coconut, and then we do the dehusking and deshelling, and then we remove the testa, and then we get the coconut white meat, and then we do the purification, and then we grate the coconut, and then we do the extraction to get the coconut milk. After that, we do the pasteurization, and then we do the homogenization, and last, we also do the drying station to get the coconut milk powder. This is the example of coconut milk powder. As you can see here, this is the coconut milk powder, and this is the coconut desiccated coconut. This is the desiccated coconut, and this is the coconut milk powder. This is the difference. Okay. And the last question is, how do Indonesian small medium enterprises obtain their capitals to start coconut processing business? It will be answered by Mrs. Etna.
Okay. Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we will answer the question we get before. What the way to get obtain the model for small medium-sized enterprise. The first, we using personal saving fund. Personal saving fund can be used as business capital by saving existing income. But if we don't have sufficient personal fund, maybe we can try the following steps. The second, looking for business relation. We can partner with our friends who have better financial capabilities. Good business relationship can reduce the burden but in managing the company and providing the capital. To do this, make sure you have business relationship with people who have the same vision and the same mission. The third, looking for investor. Capital can be obtained for investor who are interested in our business. You are a business that's running, and you must be able to convince the investor that the business you are running can provide prospective added value. The fourth, grant from the government. In Indonesia, small medium enterprise receive assistance from the relevant ministries. I hope it's the same in your country too. In general, assistance is provided in the form of machine, equipment. Financial assistance is usually provided through collaboration with government bank. Assistance is also usually provided to community-driven sector such as agriculture processing. Next, apply for a bank loan. Apart from borrowing in personal names, banks also have special programs to help small medium enterprise with low interest rates. However, the opportunity for small medium enterprise to get capital from bank really depends on the scale of the business and how long the business has been running. And the last, you can get prepayment by customer. Capital can come from customers who have a big need for our product we produce, and for that they are usually willing to pay first. Okay, these are some sources of capital to raise small medium enterprise. Most of the point above are things that require trust. Make sure we choose to run small medium enterprise that have good prospect. I hope you are lucky to get financial support from your relative or your government. I think that's the tips, Mrs. Nadia.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Iana. It's really clear. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Ibu Rosalina to present about virgin coconut oil. I will now turn the sessions over to Mrs. Rosa to begin. Mrs. Rosa, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Nidia. Okay, hello everyone. You can hear my voice? Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, I can, Morning.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello everyone. Hello, ladies and gentlemen from Belize, Barbados, Saint Lucia, Grenade. Good morning, Juliet. Are you still here? Like to see you.
Morning, I'm still here. Morning.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I hope everyone is still enthusiastic, right? Especially today, as we will be discussing very interesting topic, one of which is VCO, virgin coconut oil. Let's get started right away. In this training, I will present about, wait, I will share my screen first. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Wait. Okay, now in the sessions, we will discuss, share about this topic, virgin coconut oil production, about characteristic, the benefit, quality standard, usually in Indonesia, raw material that we need to produce VCO, machinery equipment, manufacturing steps, and packaging option also. Okay, now what is VCO? Perhaps, or maybe, all of us ever heard about the VCO. So VCO is a processed product from coconut meat in the form of clear, tasteless liquid with a distinctive coconut odor. It contains high, medium, and short chain saturated fatty acid. This clarity of VCO is obtained by the gradual separations of chemical elements with proper processing. So we can make sure that the VCO is a good condition if this is clear and odorless. It means that the production process is done correctly. So that's the point. Clear and odorless. Okay, so why must have VCO? Okay, it is a lot of benefits of VCO. First, for our health, it boosts heart health. VCO contains medium and chain fatty acid (MCT) to promote heart health, enhance immunity, of course, because it contains lauric acid, which has powerful anti-radical, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal properties, helping us to strengthen the immune system, aids in weight loss. VCO can assist in weight management. Maybe some of us want to more lose her or his weight, okay? Of course, me also. And how can the VCO can assist in weight management? Because of good digestive function. VCO can improve or enhance digestive functions. If we have trouble with our hair, so we can use this VCO for natural treatment for hair care. Because VCO is a pure manufacture without containing chemicals. Okay. So in Indonesia, we usually use this quality standard, Indonesian national standard. So what is parameters to make sure the standards of VCO? Usually, first of all, of course, the condition, physically conditions, the smell, flavor, color, fresh coconut. The smell is about the fresh coconut, not, and the color, colorless. Okay, and maximum color is pale yellow. And water and volatile compounds, maximum 0.2%, not more than 0.3%, because a lot of content of water can make it a difference physically. And number of iron, free fatty acid. Free fatty acid, as you know, is not good for the product. And of course, we need the fatty acid. You see in the number 6, in the fatty acids, the list of this fatty acid that is good for our health. Let's say lauric acid, myristic acid, capric acid, and then another acid, palmitic acid, stearic acids. Okay, and now we have to make sure about the microbial contamination. We have to make sure that the contamination is not much than 10 colonies per milliliter. That's the guarantee. Yes. And then what about the metal contamination? Yeah, lead, copper, iron, cadmium. Of course, we must have the strict boundaries for this metal contamination. We will be hazard to our health. Okay, now how we can make the VCO? If you search in the internet or other source, maybe you can see, wow, I can see it is a fermentation method. Oh, I see another is centrifugation method. So we have a lot of ways to make a VCO production. First, gradual heating methods. It's a gradual heating methods because we have the step-by-step to heat the coconut milk. Yeah. See, I explained about the gradual heating methods later. But first, I want to explain what is the advantage of PCO production. What is the advantage? Why should we produce this PCO? First, it not require expensive costs. Of course, we needed it. If you want to build your business, your own business, small own business, maybe you need to choose which business that need lower costs. Is it right? Yeah. The raw materials of this PCO are easily obtained at low price. Maybe in Indonesia, here in West Sumatra, we can buy a coconut just for $1 Caribbean US, Caribbean dollar. Or maybe in rupiah, it's 3,000 until 5,000 rupiahs. So, okay, it's a low cost. And then we don't have any complicated processing to make this PCO. And then with minimal energy use. So it's a big point to choose these kinds of product. So let me first introduce you the gradual heating method. Okay, now I will explain about several PCO production. So you can choose which one that you like it, which one is more easier. So you can see from my slide. First is a gradual heating method. Okay, the first step, of course, the fresh coconut fruit is taken and its flesh is removed, then we grade it. The graded result is weighed and about approximately 1 kilograms, and then we add 2 liters of water, and then we squeeze it. We squeeze tightly so we can have the optimal coconut milk. And then we left this coconut milk stand for about 2.5 hours until it's formed 2 layers, a cream layers and a water layers. And then we separate the cream and then heat at the temperature not much than 90 Celsius or less than 90 Celsius until the oil and still white solids, or we say blondo. In Indonesia, we say blondo. But we search, maybe we can say it in another terms as a coconut press cake. Yeah. And then the oil that we have is strained to separate it from the blondo or the coconut press cake. This oil is heated again for 10 hours at the temperature of 65 Celsius. Then we strain again to obtain the PCO. So this is the gradual heating methods. We have 2 steps for heating. Yeah, we have 2 steps for heating. Okay, now next to the another method is oil fishing method. So it's quite unique. Oil to catch oil. Yeah, that's the point of this method, oil fishing method. First, some like the previous one, the coconut, we take the flesh, then we grate the flesh, and the resulting grated coconuts we wedge to the 1 kilograms, and we add the 2 liters of water, and then we squeeze it again, and the obtained coconut milk left stand for approximately same 2.5 hours until 2 layers form, the cream one and the water, and then we separate the cream. But this is the different from the previous method. In this method, into the cream, yeah, from the previous method, we heat it or we cook the cream. But in this method, in oil fishing method, we add the fishing oil. So we had the fishing oil is about in ratio 1 to 3. So is it the fishing oil is 1 ratio and into the cream in 3 quantities over the fishing oil. And then we mix We mix thoroughly, and this we stand for left to stand for 10 until 12 hours. As a result, we have 3 layers are formed, which is the oil layers, the blondo or the coconut press cake layers, and the water layers. And then we separate the oil or the PCO carefully by filtering. Okay, so we have these 2 methods for produce PCO. Okay, now we go to another method, fermentation method. As its name, fermentation methods, of course, we need some microbiology terms like yeast. Okay, so in your mindset we have yeast. So after the grated coconut, we have the grated coconut from the coconut press, and we wait to 1 kilogram, then heat it for approximately 15 minutes. So in this fermentation, the grated coconut heat first for approximately 15 minutes. The grated coconut heat for 15 minutes. Then the grated coconut, we add 2 liters of warm water. Then we squeeze to extract the coconut milk. Okay. Then the coconut milk mixed with yeast, about 1.5 grams of yeast, then left to be fermented for 25 hours. Okay, after 25 hours, after this period, the cream is separated, and then the cream is heated until oil and white coconut solid or this blondo are formed. So there's still another step of heated, a little bit heat. Okay, and then we separate the oil. And then the centrifugation method. For this method, we don't need water adding. Yeah, after we have the grated coconut, we squeeze it. We squeeze it without adding any water to this grated coconut. You just squeeze the grated coconut. Of course, it will be more harder because no water. Okay. Then after you have this concentrate of coconut milk, you can store in the container under low temperature 1 Celsius until 15 Celsius. And next, we put it into centrifugal machine. These centrifugal machines that will make a separation. So because the contents like oil, water, or the creams, it have a different density. So they will be a layer formed by the centrifugal machine. Then we vacuum the oil to reduce its water content, and subsequently filter the oil using filter paper. Okay, now you can reduce or minimize the water content in coconut oil if you put it in the oven at a low temperature. Then the pure coconut oil can be placed in a glass bottles or other packets that you wanted. Okay, we have gradual heating methods and oil fishing method, oil get oil. Okay, and then fermentation method, it means you need yeast for this. And then centrifugation methods, you have, maybe if you have the centrifugal machine, maybe you should do this. And then wet mill method. This is methods of PCO production that we will explain more clearly in the sessions. This wet mill method, a simplest way. Okay, in this wet mill method, there are 3 successive stages in this method. First, we have to produce coconut milk. Second, separate cream and water. 3, break the creams of coconut milk. So what do we need for make PCO? First of all, you must choose a very old coconut. Okay, now how we can choose the old coconut? Maybe all of you know about what coconut that indicates that is a mature condition or old coconut. Okay, as you can see on the screen, this is kinds of old coconut. And if you make it into two pieces, you can see this is an embryo in the coconut. It means that this is a mature coconut. It's good for the oil. If you want to make a coconut oil of PCO, you have to choose the old coconut, because the old coconut more produce oil. The oil containing is much higher in these types of coconut. And you have to warm water. You have to ready for warm water. So in this method, we need first old or mature coconuts, and the second warm water, right? We just need these two raw material. And then what machinery or equipment that we need? First, maybe you need a coconut meat grater. Yeah, this is a coconut meat grater. It's the simplest. Basin. This is coconut milk filter made by cloth. And this is glass separatory funnel. This is the glass separatory funnel. Okay, maybe in your home you can see it. In a laboratory, maybe it's easy to see it, easy to have this. But if you want to make it in your own house or home, you maybe choose a simple one to replace it. Maybe just a plastic bowl, transparent plastic bag is okay. You can use, and you need a pipette. Yes, is laboratory is easy to have pipette, or you can use your spoon to spread the oil. Okay. Now, this is the step for making PCO. The first, of course, we have the flesh, and then we grate, and then the grated coconut weight approximately 1 kilogram, and then we add the 2 liters of warm water and squeeze it. Yeah, you have squeezed tightly because we will lose a lot of coconut milk if you not squeeze it tightly. The coconut milk, then we put into glass separating funnels and support it with clamps, or you can use your plastic bowl or a jar with a tight cover, or a transparent plastic bag is okay. You can use it. And then your coconut milk left for about 3 until 4 hours until you can see 2 layers are clearly formed to get the maximum cream. So cream will be on the top layer and water in the bottom layers. And then the water in the lower layers will be discharged. Then the cream layers, you can stir the cream slowly for about 1 until 2 minutes. Then we put back the cream to the separating funnel and left to stand for approximately 15 until 20 hours at room temperature. After 20 hours, 3 layers will be clearly visible, where the PCO on the top layer, the blondo or the coconut press cake on the middle layer, and the water at the bottom layer. And you can take the PCO on the top layer by using pipette or your spoons, and then the rest you can using filter paper to filter the PCO from the blondo layers. Okay, then you package in the closed bottles. Okay, as you can see on the screen, this is the VCO, this is the coconut press cake, or we say it blondo, and this is the water. You just discharge the water and you have this coconut press cake and the VCO. Okay. Okay, now we can see the video of VCO processing that we have made for you. Let's check this out.
Need to 350 miles of coconut milk. The required raw material. Virgin coconut oil production process. We will now explain the process of producing VCO. To yield 130 miles of VCO, you will need to 350 miles of coconut milk. The required raw material is coconut. Here are the necessary tools: coconut grater, plastic container, coconut milk strainer made of cloth, 1 liter glass separating flask, dropper or spoon. The first step is selecting mature coconuts. Split the chosen coconuts into 2 halves. Grate the coconut flesh. Extract the coconut milk from the grated coconut. Pour the extracted coconut milk into a container. Transfer the coconut milk into a 1 liter glass separating flask using a banana funnel. Allow the milk to settle for approximately 3 until 4 hours until 2 distinct layers form, ensuring maximum separation. Cream on top and water at the bottom. Gently stir the cream randomly for 1 to 2 minutes. Allow cream to settle again in the banana funnel and let it ferment at room temperature for 15 until 20 hours. After 20 hours, you will observe 3 distinct layers: VCO on top, blondo in the middle, and water at the bottom. Extract the VCO using a dropper and filter using paper filter. Pack the VCO into sealed bottle.
Okay, that's the video about produce VCO. Now let me share my screen. Okay, now the VCO products that we produce can be packaged in various forms as pictures below. We can package it into in the jar or in a cans or in a bottle or in the bottle with the palms over or in glass bottles. Or we used to see VCO on a capsule. Okay, or in this jerry can. So it's up to you. Where do you want to share or to sell your products? Which market do you want to sell? Is it have to package in a capsule or just in a jerry can? Maybe why we should package in the huge or a big container? Because when we maybe a soup con or just produce our oil, then we subcon to another seller, so we don't need to lose money for marketing. Maybe you can use this kinds of container, or this is another types or kinds of packaging that you will choose. Okay, now back to this slide. As you can see that we have this coconut press cake. I mean that this coconut press cake, we don't have to just oh yeah. Okay. And this coconut press cake, we don't have to just throw it away because it's have valuables. Okay, this coconut press cake, if you see it, it still have a lot of oil. So we can make it to a coconut oil. So we can have two products. When you produce PCO, you will have two products, the PCO and the coconut oil. But the coconut oil will be explained more comprehensive with other sessions with Mrs. Rika. So I will call for Mrs. Rika to explain about the coconut oil. There's about, okay, that's my presentation about how to making PCO. Thank you very much for your attention. Back to Mrs. Rika. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Rosalina and Mrs. Nadia. Good morning, all participants in Caribbean, and good morning, colleagues in Indonesia. I'm Rika. I will share you about production of coconut cooking oil. This section consists about product characteristic, product benefit, and then product quality standard, raw material and machinery and equipment, manufacturing step, and packaging option. Coconut cooking oil is cooking oil made from coconut, which is used daily by people to fry food. Coconut oil is believed to have advantage compared to cooking oil made from palm oil. Coconut oil is extract from mature coconut fruit. Coconut oil contains saturated fat, but the fat in coconut oil is not the same as animal fat. Coconut oil is still beneficial to health. The nutrition content in 1 tablespoon of coconut oil are 0 gram of protein, 0 milligram cholesterol, 121 calories, 13.5 gram of fat, of which 12.2 gram is saturated. The composition of fat consists of 100% fat. Mainly, 80 until 90% is saturated fat. Okay, product characteristic. In coconut oil, there are at least 3 types of saturated fatty acids, such as lauric acid, myristic acid, and palmitic. The potential to increase low-density lipoprotein levels in the body. The amount of saturated fatty acid in coconut oil is still small. Coconut oil can still be said to be safe for managing a number of food variants and others. Product types. Coconut oil production can be done in a dry and wet method. The dry method is carried out by pressing copra, while in the wet method, oil is made with thicker coconut milk by heating processing technique and without heating. The product example by wet method using without heating processing technique is VCO, virgin coconut oil. The process of making coconut oil, which will be explained next, is by using the wet method, namely by heating at low temperatures. Okay, next, about product benefit. There are some benefits are coconut oil product. The first is burn fat. The first benefit of coconut cooking oil can help burn fat in the body. The saturated fat content in coconut oil and increase the number of calories burned in the body, thus helping the process of weight loss if consumed in moderation. And the second is control blood sugar. Another benefit of coconut cooking oil for the body is that it can control blood sugar. The content in coconut oil maintains insulin sensitivity in the body so that it controls blood sugar. Third, increase good cholesterol levels. The next benefit of coconut cooking oil is that it can increase good cholesterol level in the body. Good cholesterol level has a function to improve heart health, thereby reducing the risk of heart attack and stroke. Okay, the next fourth, improve skin health. Coconut cooking oil can also help to improve skin's health, so it doesn't dry out. Coconut oil is also beneficial for beauty and cosmetics, such as improving skin health, preventing it from drying out, and preventing inflammation of the skin. The fifth is improving hair health. Not only the skin, the benefit of coconut oil can also improve hair health. The content of coconut oil can make hair more shiny and protect it from damage. Six, reducing Alzheimer's symptoms. The next benefit of coconut oil for the body is that it can help reduce Alzheimer's symptoms. Studies show that coconut oil can prevent early signs of Alzheimer's by providing a source of energy for brain cells. Okay, the next about product quality standard. The quality requirements for cooking oil from coconut are divided into quality requirement 1 and quality requirement 2 in Indonesian national standard. Quality requirement 1 includes the maximum moisture content of 0.1% weight-to-weight, the maximum acid number of 0.6 milligram calcium peroxide to gram, linoleic acid, in the fatty acid composite of oil, a maximum of 2%. And about quality requirement to include the maximum water content is 0.13 weight-to-weight. The maximum acid number is 2 milligram calcium peroxide to gram. Linoleic acid in the fatty acid composition of oil is a maximum of 2%. There are several factors that determine the standard quality of cooking oil, including water content, impurity in the oil, pretty fatty acid content, and then color and peroxide value. Okay, for the raw material, the raw material for coconut oil product is coconut that is good nature, very old coconut. For good production efficiency, on average, one coconut can produce 100 milliliter of coconut cooking oil. For machinery and equipment, there are the machinery and equipment for producing the CCO. There are coconut grater, mixed spacer, refrigerator or cold storage, frying pan or wok, and then filtering. Okay, some of equipment. For storage and transfer of material and for material handling, plastic bowl container for grade coconut and coconut milk, and a bucket containing coconut seed and coconut water, and then oil container. This section describes the stage of processing raw material into finished goods. The first, raw material preparation. The raw material needs is coconut kernel, where it estimates that 1 liter of oil requires 10 coconuts. The coconut that has been separated from the husk is the split open to release the water. The second, coconut grading. The split coconut is graded using a grater machine. For trained worker, half of the coconut can be finished in 1 minute. And then coconut milk extraction. The grade coconut is then squeezed using a coconut squeezing machine. Before the coconut is squeezed, it mixed with water where the ratio of grade and water is 1:1. Extraction is done 4 times to make sure all the coconut starch is taken its essence. Storage. The result of coconut squeezing in the form of coconut milk is stored for 1 day and 1 night in cold storage to separate the water from the starch. Separation of starch with water. After being stored for 24 hours, the coconut milk and water will separate by themselves. The water will be at the bottom and the coconut milk starch will be at the top. The separate water is discarded and the remaining starch is taken to be cooked. Heating. Heating is done by frying. The coconut milk starch in a cauldron with continuous stirring to make sure the liquid doesn't stick to the cauldron. The cooking process takes about 3 hours. Gradually, the oil will come out of the broken starch through the heating process. Filtering. The oil foam will float while the dregs will be at the bottom of the cauldron. The oil that has been obtained is filtered using a coarse filter to spread the oil from the dreg of oil. The oil that has been separated is then filtered to filter paper to obtain clear oil that is no longer mixed with the remaining dregs and impurities. And then we have packaging option. CCO is usually packaging in plastic bottle of various size and standing porch. Okay, the next you will see the video about coconut cooking oil production process from Polytechnic Atipada. Okay, Miss Nadia.
Coconut oil or CCO production process. Now, we'll describe the process of producing coconut oil. For every 1 liter of thick coconut milk, you can obtain 300 until 400 ml of coconut oil. The required raw material is thick coconut milk. Here are the necessary tools: plastic container, cloth strainer, filter paper, packaging bottles, cold storage, stove, and cooking utensils. The process of making coconut oil involves the following steps. First, store the coconut milk in cold storage for 24 hours to separate the water from the starch. After 24 hours, water and coconut starch will naturally separate, with water at the bottom and starch at the top. Discard the separated water and collect the remaining starch for cooking. Stretch in a pan, continuously stirring to prevent sticking. This cooking process takes about 3 hours. Slowly, oil will be released from the broken starch due to the heating process. The formed oil will float, while residue will settle at the bottom of the pan. Separate the oil from the residue using a coarse strainer. Further filter the separated oil using filter paper to obtain clear, impurity-free oil. Pack the filtered and cooled oil into containers.
That's all. Thank you, Mrs. Rosa and Mrs. Rika, for today's presentations. It's really awesome to see your thoughtful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, now we'll come to the Q&A discussion sessions. We already have some questions here, and now we try to answer 2 of questions. Let me share the screen. So for the first question comes from Mr. Evan. Is red ring disease present in Indonesia? If yes, how can it be managed? So for us, we ever heard about red ring disease, but it's in the oil palm plants. Yes. So we try to answer this question. The cause of this disease is the attack of oil palm plants by the nematode Bursapelensus cocopillus and transmitted by the Rhynchoporus beetle. To prevent an eradication, it can be done by, for the first is, the infected trees are dismantled and then burnt. We need to burn it. And for the second is, the plants are killed with sodium arsenate poison. We use the poison here. So it's really extreme, but it can be done for us. And to do this, drill a hole in the palm trunk 30 centimeter deep, and the hole slopes upwards. Then add 20 cc of sodium arsenate and cover the hole with solid clay. That have been done in Indonesia. I hope it's clear, Mr. Evan. Mr. Evan?
Okay, thanks for the information, because this red ring disease is a fatal disease, and it comes in when a tree starts fruiting. So it could destroy your tree as soon as it starts bearing. So thank you for the information.
Thank you so much, Mr. Evan. Thank you so much. For the next question is from Mr. Edgar. Good morning. How much oil do we get from the 1 kilogram of grated coconut milk? So we will try to answer this question. In the VCO production process, it has about 20% until 30% of yield. So if we can conclude, in 1 kilogram of grated coconut, we can obtain about 200 until 300 grams of virgin coconut oil. That's all, host Mr. Edgar. Mr. Edgar. So if you want to produce 1 kilogram grated coconut, you can obtain about 200 until 300 grams of VCO. I hope it can answer the questions, Mr. Edgar.
Yes, yes, that answers the question. Then.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Edgar. Thank you. For the next question is, what is fishing oil? Fishing. It will be answered by Mrs. Rosa. Ms. Rosa, what is yours?
Hello, thank you for the questions. It's good questions. What is fishing oil? Okay, that's I already told that it is oil, catch oil. That's the point. So we can use the finished oil or another VCO that we already have. We use that VCO to catch another VCO, just like that. Is that clear? Or you have another question?
We have another questions here.
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
It's clear. Thank you, Mr. Ivan. And then we also have another question from Mr. Ivan. The video that was shown on VCO is the fermentation process. How is it, Mrs.?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Yes, it's not the fermentation process. It's a wet mill method. So the video is a wet mill method. It's not the fermentation process because the fermentation process need some yeast to ferment the coconut milk. Okay, is that it clear, Mr. Evans?
Yes, okay, thank you. I always thought VCO production was produced by a non-heat process, okay, cold press method. No heat involved because heat tends to denature the good material in the VCO. It denatures it. So could you clarify, please? Can I repeat? I believe that from hearing and reading that to produce VCO, it's done by a cold press method where heat is not involved. Heat destroys the good elements in the VCO. So can you explain or clarify, please?
Okay, thank you for the questions. What about the cold method? Okay, it's another method to produce CCO that we call cold process method. The cold process method, they use dry or dehydrated coconuts. We can buy it on the grocery store or you have it previously. This dry or dehydrated coconut. So we not use the fresh flesh of coconut. So then after, if you have dry, or we make sure that this dry or dehydrated coconut, we can sure you may use the ovens at the lowest temperature to dry the coconut meat. Then you put it in the small chunks, then place it in the baking sheet, and just cook it at lower temperature just for 8 hours. Okay, just for 8 hours until it's completely dry. Then you place it into your juicer. Maybe you have juicer in your homes. Just place can produce coconut milk from the juicer. So then we will remove the oil and the cream from the fiber. Okay, and then we maybe this juicer will not have optimally to extract all the oil or from the coconut. So just run the coconut flakes through it again once more to make sure that you get the every last drop of the coconut oil. Then you put the coconut oil in a jar and store it in a warm place. Just wait for 24 hours. Yes. When we show you our videos of how to make VCO in wet mill method, it's almost the same one, but we not use the dry coconut oil, the dry coconut meat, but we use the fresh coconut milk. Okay, we don't use the dry. In this cold press method, they use dry coconut milk. So you can either dry it by the oven for 8 hours at low temperature, and then you piece it, you can slice it into small chunks, then you put in the juicer and you have the coconut milk. Then the coconut milk you place in a jar and store it in a warm place. Then you just wait until 24 hours and you have the coconut cream settle on the bottom of the jar. And this pure coconut oil will rise to the top. You just can separate the oil from the top and then with your spoon, and then you remove it to the first container and place to the new container that it's now ready to be used. Just like that. Is that clear, Mr.? I'm sorry?
Yes, is very clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have another question, maybe? We're back to Mrs. Nidia. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Rosa. It's really clear. Here we have another questions. We have another questions here. Where can you purchase a squeezing machine? From Mrs. Daniela Sampson. So we can get the squeezing machine from marketplaces. If in Indonesia, we can obtain it freely from online shop. It depends on your area, but I bet it will get easily in your country, I think. How, Mrs. Daniela? And then,
Can you repeat, please?
how, Mrs. Daniela? So in Indonesia, we can get the squeezer machines from the marketplaces. It's really, really easy to obtain.
Okay, but in the Caribbean, I haven't found any boys with that type of machine. So if it has to be shipped to St. Lucia, how much will that cost? Or is it difficult to get it?
Okay, the easiest way you can use the chopper or blender, I think. Of course, you can you have it at your home, right? But if you want to design as similar as the squeezer machines, you can also go to the workshop and request it to the workshop itself. How about it, Mrs. Daniela?
Okay, I will look into that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Daniela.
This question, the dried coconut. You said it would have more coconut oil in it than the white flesh, the kernel. So if you cut up the dried coconut into small parts and you eat it, right? You chew it. Is that a way for you to get VCO directly?
Let me try to explain. Yes, for the cold process of coconut VCO, we know that the dry coconut meat will have a more oil content, just like that. So when we make it slices into small pieces, then we chop it or we just juice it, we will have the oil. We will have the oil. So just that's a way of this process, cold process.
So would that oil be considered, could you get some VCO in your diet by consuming the dry coconut in that way?
Yes, you can consume this VCO. It's already ready to consume when you have this VCO. We just need to wait for just 24 hours. After you put it in the jar, you can see the PCO is the top of the top layers, and the more solid forms will be in the bottom layer. So you just have the PCO oil, just separate it.
But what I was really saying is eating the dry coconut directly from the nut. Eating it like a candy.
I'm sorry, I can't. Oh,
Yes.
what do you mean? Just you eat the dry coconut?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's really good. You just eat the dry coconuts directly. But if you want to save it for another time, you want to eat, or you need this PCO, but you have to storage. You have to store this PCO in another storage, right? So
Yes.
you can eat your PCO anytime you want it.
Yes, I was thinking about another marketing strategy to enable people to get it directly instead of going through that big process. You know, eat it as like a candy. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you want other persons eat have this PCO, maybe for a young person they can beat it, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
the dry coconut milk is really hard.
Well, not for a young person. You know, a teenager or
Yeah.
7 to 10. You know, their jaws are strong and they are very adventurous. Now, one other question. Sodium arsenate is banned in my country. So to destroy the tree, you have any other recommendation? Sodium arsenate.
What?
It's a banned chemical. Because with weathering, you have to destroy the tree. Because the weevil is conducting its life cycle within the tree. You know, eggs, larva, adult, then it flies out to infest other trees with the nematodes. So you have to destroy the tree once it's diagnosed as having red ring disease.
The tree that has been contaminated with disease. That you mean that we have to destroy the trees?
Yes,
Because
I want to know what other chemical you could use apart from sodium arsenate.
I'm sorry, sir, I can hear you clearly.
Yes, sodium arsenate was recommended as a chemical that could be used to destroy the tree by drilling holes and pouring it into the hole and capping it with clay. Okay, right. We don't have sodium arsenate in my country because it's a banned chemical. Any other suggestions? If you don't have the answer, probably you can make it available later. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And obviously, when the tree get the disease and it's nematode, it's really a hazard for another tree. So the trees have to be destroyed by burned, and the soil must be make a hole. Then we put chemicals that yes, and once we should be aware from the chemicals, but it's more dangerous if this disease cannot be solved in this area. So because it will be spread to another, and it will be more dangerous for this area. Maybe, and that's why in Indonesia we still have trees and give the chemicals as a chemicals also.
I agree. We tend to pour into the hot kerosene. Kerosene?
Kerosene.
Yes, it's used as a fuel in Trinidad. Kerosene.
Kerosene. Actually, we don't use kerosene anymore because we do have pertalite and another, so we don't, or biodiesel or diesel, we don't use the kerosene. But yes, we have to burn these trees. We agree with that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I should tell you, in Trinidad and the rest of the Caribbean, there is a European Union sponsored coconut rehabilitation program. I think it's still ongoing.
It is
Just
very
for
good, Mr. Evan.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your active participations. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. Next, we have another question from Mrs. Desma Sampson. Is there a certain amount the squeezing machines can handle? So in general, in Indonesia, the squeezer machines made in Indonesia, it can handle about 20 until 25 coconuts per hour. That's all. I hope it's clear because the time is really running, and it's already it's already we already reached to the end of the sessions. So next we will enter to the last of the sessions, the assignments and post test. Let me share to you the presentation. So it is like you have done to us before. You have asked so many questions. So this is the assignment for you. The coconut training program for the Caribbean. This is the assignment. I hope you can do this assignment. So choose one of 3 following products: nata de coco, virgin coconut oil, or coconut oil. Yes. Try to produce it in a small amount with just 5 coconuts. Take a photo in every stage that you have conducted. So we already made the Google form for you. So if you have done your assignment, you can submit on the following Google form link. We will also share this Google form on your WhatsApp group. Is it clear? Okay, that's all. So now you can answer the post test. I will share to you the link to the chat room. It's the link. We have shared on the chat room.
So are we supposed to indicate what is the temperature, maximum temperature in the chat?
Yes. From Sabrina Thomas. I will try to answer this question. What is the maximum temperatures used in processing CCO and VCO before it loses its good quality? And previously, I was explains about the types of VCO production methods. One of them is the gradual heating method, and gradual heating methods use less of 90 Celsius, right? The gradient method. Let me try to share this screen. Let's. Bentar. Okay, now we have to see this presentation. So let's try to share screen. Okay, can you see my screen? The gradual heating methods. They use temperature of less than 90 Celsius, right? Because at the first heating is more water contains, so they can use the less than 90 Celsius. But actually, VCO, we have to use the lower temperature to have the good quality of VCO, that not more than 50 Celsius. So we can just use the 49 Celsius or just 30 Celsius is a room temperature, so we can have the good quality of Celsius. These several methods have a different quality, because the quality of VCO will depends on how they produce. Okay, is that answer your question? So the lower temperatures will be the best methods that you can choose.
Can I ask a question, please?
I'm sorry, Mr. Ivan. This is the time for the post-test. I hope you
Okay.
also
Okay, all right.
answer the
Okay.
post-test first. And then if we
Okay.
have the rest time, we will continue discussions. We're really
Lovely.
sorry, Mr. Ivan. Thank you so much for all of the participants. We really appreciated your active participant in our training. So just for the reminder, the assignment is due on October 1st. So hopefully you have the rest time to do the assignment and submit it on the Google form. So later you will get the certificate uh, from the training from the trainers. Okay. This is the due, and then we already reached to the end of the sessions. Apparently, we still have enormous questions or topic to be discussed. However, due to the limited time, we need to end our discussion session. Thank you so much for your active participation. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Ministry of Industry, Polytechnic Ati Padang, we would like to say thank you for your active participation today and have a great rest of your day. I'm Hairun Nadia signing off. So see you all later and thank you very much. Over to you, Ibu Niken. Thank you so much, Quincy.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nadia, for leading the discussion for
Thank you, Mrs.
today. Yeah, for today's training. So participants, as Ms. Nadia has mentioned, that you have several days to submit the assignment due on October 1st. So, but please also pay attention to the time difference between Indonesia. It would be better if you could submit it on September 30th, just to prevent the time difference confusion. So once again, of course, on behalf of the Non-Aligned Movement Center for Social Technical Cooperation, I would like to express appreciation to all of the experts from the Polytechnic Ati Padang, for imparting your knowledge to our colleagues and friends from the Caribbean region, and of course to all participants who took the time to attend this training. And please stay in touch. Hopefully you can still remain on the WhatsApp group, because as you know that we will have a follow-up of this activity. So yeah, so thank you very much. Wishing you a good day and wishing you a good rest for all of the experts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to do more reading up and studying. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mrs.
very-
Juliet. Have a
You're
great day.
welcome.
So, Mrs. Juliet, which one do you want to make this time?
Which
PCO,
one?
nata de coco, or coconut oil?
I've made just 1 minute, please. I've made the coconut oil already. I've seen my sister in
It's great.
coconut oil, and they made it.
May I see your coconut oil?
No, I don't have it. The one that he's made now. But give me 1 minute. I never got any more left.